Welcome to the ISO Show, dispelling myths and sharing tips for success to improve your business with ISO standards, with your host, Mel Blackmore.
Hello. In this podcast, I'll be sharing with you hints and tips on how to win new business with ISO standards. In my experience, I'd estimate that around about 8 times out of 10, the main driver for businesses contacting us to seek certification to ISO standards isn't to improve their business, unfortunately, it's to win new business. So what is it about ISO standards that's so attractive to prospective clients? Why are they like gold dust in certain industries? And in some cases, why is it a prerequisite to tender? Why are these ISO standards so valuable? Well, one of the reasons is that certification to ISO standards demonstrates credibility and confidence to stakeholders. So what this means is that businesses aren't just blowing their own trumpet by saying how marvellous they are. They've actually got an accredited certification body who's independently verifying this against an internationally renowned standard of excellence. So just to provide clarification on that, a UCAS accredited certification body such as BSI, Lloyds, SGS, ISAQA, NQA, these are all UCAS accredited certification bodies that offer certification services. There are actually a list of over 20 of them on the UCAS website, and that's UKAS, that stands for United Kingdom Accreditation Service. And that's, in the UK, the government's one and only government body for accreditation. That's a really important factor, and there'll be similar organisations like that internationally if you're listening to this overseas. Regardless of which ISO standard is implemented, it's recognised that if a company meets these high standards, they're practising what they preach, and they've got a certificate to prove it. The other thing that's worth noting that adds value to this certificate is that it's valid for 3 years. So you're not just completing an assessment and getting a badge, it's a continual journey of improvement. And that's exactly what your clients are looking for. They don't want you standing still. They want you to be continuing to provide high quality service products and other services. So once a company is certified, they need to capitalise on the investment that they've made. And that's in terms of the effort that they've put in, time, resources, and also finance. They really need to be able to make the most of that investment to create opportunities for winning new business. And what we've found is that an ISO standard can be viewed as a great tool for a sales and marketing team to have in their toolkit. There are so many businesses that complete an assessment and then they do nothing. But this is exactly the time when you need to be capitalising on that investment and shouting from the rooftops that you're certified to an ISO standard. If you've got it, flaunt it. Some say, well, it's only a number, ISO 9001, ISO 14001. Well, those numbers add up. And they add up to profit if used in the right way. So how do you go about doing this? Well, you should be referencing your ISO standards, only those UCAS accredited certificates, of course, on your website. And therefore it demonstrates leadership and commitment. So include the logo and message, and messages from the CEO, for example, or a managing director. The ISO standards logo and information related to your achievement could also be referenced in proposals and tenders to give you a better chance of winning that contract. So at Blackmores, for example, we have ISO 9001 and we use that in all of our proposals and any correspondence that we're sending out to prospective clients. And there have been many occasions over the years when sales and marketing managers have come to us and said how useful having all of the documentation in one place is. So by that, we mean by having a really well-structured and documented ISO management system so that these people can easily extract key tender documents, rather than them having to go back to managers and directors and ask for certain documents, which could be a business continuity plan, it could be an energy policy, an equality and diversity policy, Managers and directors are constantly getting bombarded with getting asked for information, and it would just make life so much easier if there was a central repository, i.e. an ISO management system, where that information could easily be extracted from. So the kind of documents could be customer service KPIs, complaints procedures. All of those things can be extracted from your ISO management system, and therefore making life easier for the sales and marketing team to showcase why your business is as good as it is. So I'll just repeat that. It's a perfect opportunity to showcase why your business is as good as it is, because you've got the documentation there to prove it. Some companies use the ISO logos on marketing collateral such as brochures or e-brochures, and even on business cards, newsletters, letterheads and catalogues to give them a competitive edge. But it can also be used in other types of visual methods like PowerPoint presentations or in-house company signage. We've seen in recent years those fast-growing dynamic organisations having internal signage sending out strong messages to members of staff. So that could be on their vision, their values, their commitment to sustainability or growing their business based on achieving high standards. And also it's really attractive when you've got prospective clients coming to visit your premises as well. Now in some industries, such as the construction industry where we've dealt with a lot of businesses, it's much easier to win and retain valuable clients if you've got certain ISO standards. So in this sector, for example, having an integrated quality environment and health and safety system, such as a QHSE system, is really attractive. Or in the technology sector, the expectation there is really to have ISO 27001 to ensure that all of the data assets are secure. Where we've seen the greatest advantage for businesses, though, is where we've seen those early adopters embracing new ISO standards, and that helps them to give them a competitive edge. For example, last year in 2018, we implemented BS 10012, which is a new personal information standard, which is aligned with GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulations. So in this particular case, we had a client called Exponential E, who've been a client of ours for a few years now, and they're certified to a number of ISO standards. They wanted to demonstrate confidence and credibility to their stakeholders about keeping clients' data secure. So they were one of the first in their industry to achieve certification to that standard. And as a result of that, they had some great PR opportunities. Another example is Equinix, which is a leading global data center organisation. We started working with them about 8 years ago. They were interested in 14001, the environmental standard, and at the time we recommended implementing a new energy management standard, which was a BS at the time, a British standard. They adopted this, rolled it out across Europe, and in particular it was beneficial for certain countries like in Holland, where at the time there were fines for not meeting certain energy commitments. And as a result of that, they went to implement it not just in Europe, but across Middle East and Asia. And as a result of that, it made them really stand out from the crowd. And it also led them to be leaders within their field in energy management, and other data centres followed as a result of that. So hopefully that's provided you with an example on how you can use ISO standards to win new business. So it's not just about getting the badge, but it's about really capitalising on that investment and on that certificate to help you to expand your business. So I'd just like to remind you that on our website, we've got further information, which will be really helpful, and you can access a document called Winning New Business with ISO Standards Checklist. All you need to do is visit us on www.blackmoresuk.com. And also, just a reminder to subscribe to the podcast and share it with your colleagues. So I look forward to catching you on our next ISO show.